is the boasting? Right. Where is the boasting then? The boasting for God. Where's the boasting? I got a bee sting. Where's the boasting? We don't boast. We don't boast. By and large, in this society, we've come into a certainly individually. I mean, we don't. It's not something we do. We don't boast. As Christians, we don't boast. We don't thump our chest and go about with a bugle. You know what I mean? And that kind of thing is, well, this is obvious. I thought we'd give she a plug. A little plugger. I'm just a plugger. You know you're a plugger when you spill your milk and you cry. You know you're a plugger. But, we don't boast. Nobody boasts. Where is the boasting? There isn't any. And does the government? We certainly will. The Pentagon is boasting to have God. Well, only when it comes in a time of war. And spending that money on, what was it? How many did we have? The supplementals. Well, Susan knows. Susan knows everything down there. Susan from Virginia. She knows how many. 100 billion a pop. Even boy George was astounded, and he, at how much spending. And he's like, in his head. Don't think that he wasn't aware of how much, because he was. And it was a thing of, I picked it. I picked it. I can tell you. I don't make this stuff up. You don't think he wasn't, he's not a bean counter, but he's in the general ballpark of bigness. I can tell you, big. He spent big. Yes, he did. He knew it, too. And he knew when he was going in, he knew they were going to spend big money. And big money he did spend. Big bust the bank money. And then, of course, the $1 trillion to bail out, we don't remember that one. To bail out the Wall Street, and then build the $1 trillion to keep, the cars are going. Keep the automakers in. And, we're just like subsidizing just the same as those. So, over there, the great ones over there that, have the best handle on things, that have, full well knowledge, know just exactly which way to go. But spent big money, big money, and he knew it. He's full aware of it, trust me. He knew going in, and he knew on those supplementals how big he was spending. So that's when we know that God is for them, at the time of the crisis. Barring, we don't know. Let's see. I figure if we, at this point, and we'd have to get maybe a chief economist to just slice the pie, smaller pieces, smaller, because at this point, if we budget $1 trillion, we're only probably going to get, I don't know. I'm going to venture to say that half of it is gone. Yes, I'm going to say half of it is gone on that market. I don't know. I wish somebody could help me out on that one. Certainly there are enough Jews down there that could help us. Nobody picks up the Jews anymore. What advantage then is it? Much, chiefly in every way. For unto them was committed the big pockets and the safe bank accounts. And yes, the Attorney General, yes. Funny, isn't it? Very funny. Very, very. So now you see, who is committed unto the protection of the great the great governments. Well, we're in bad. We're in deep. You know, how much if we have a whole pie, what a slice, right, actually goes. So then we have to, on the credit, now you know why yes, and I belabored that one already. But, big money, big bulk, quick spending. That's when we know. Boasting. We boast. God is on our side when we can go, when the elephant can step on the ant, and that's boasting. That's when we boast about God. So when a despot, we've gotten the despot. I think we should have kept all the despots. Now we don't have any despots left. What do you do when all the despots are gone? I have any news. Dumb shits. The Pentagon. Full of brainstorming ideas. Boasting. Well, they don't boast in the sense that they have God, individually, and we don't in this society. No one goes around boasting. So then where is the boasting? Well, unless you get, the obvious choice, of course, is the one who looks like he, right. Because we in our humble little, I don't boast. I hope and pray that I have God. You know what I mean? And I know I do, but in the sense that, and I know because of what the promise is that He will not leave us and He will forsake us. He won't leave us or forsake us, and He will be, though there are trials and tribulations, He will not give us more than we can bear. And though you become a plugger. You become a plugger when you are set in those kinds of routines, as it became routines. It became routine. So then you are in the and we don't boast. I don't boast saying I've done it. We don't do that in this, and that's a good thing. So then you get into it, and then, like I said, we get into the most obvious, those who have the appearance of it, and so it presents a scenario of such that how do we answer that? How do we answer that? Well, we don't really have a direct answer to tell these clowns that dress up as though they are, funny for every day of the year, and we really don't have something that was simply because we don't boast. We as little people, and that's why I say I don't want to get, I hope and pray that and I think we all have that mentality that, in this country, let's just say, I see more of that than the other, in that, we have the same, mountain to climb, we have the same beast of burden, chiefly the government, and nobody boasts of God. We boast of other things. It strikes me now as, we boast about our, our material possessions more than God, and, what can be said of that? Well, but where's the boasting of God? And then, funny face and so on. What do we do? And especially we have those in the business of promoting it's sort of like picking and choosing, and it's tough to take. For me, it's like, I don't need to see it, you know what I mean, because but it's there, and people are exposed to it, and then who knows, over the course of brain watering. Well, washing is water. Brain watering. We don't come up, and then our speeches become so inflicted with the severity of commonality that it's seductive in the nature of itself, of which the promotion of it is there. I mean, it's there, and we don't recognize it because no one can say anything about it. No one can do anything about it. No one can say, and we're all in the boat of without maybe sometimes having the oars, and we just have to let it sail, let the wind take it, see where it goes. Until finally, if God wants it this way or that way, then finally, the thing has to change. He sets the ship on the course that to save us, not to to allow us to continue into this abyss. So we're thankful. We're thankful for that. That He pulls us up and pulls us out and points us in the, to save ourselves. And that's why I pray every day that God is going to be for me. I'm not running away from Him looking out, because we're in this world of, well, we know there's evil out there and lurks, and it's seductive. It's it's the littleness and as well, and nobody is pointing out of things that we put on our breastplate, and we as Christians, and we pray, and we we have a more sureness of things, because though we have fears of things, we can't allow fear to dictate. And of course we have governments who, when they have terrorists acting, they say we won't live in fear, and then they of course take the retribution. Whether it's that ship was pointed in the right direction, we still know that it wasn't. Big spending, big spending. Oh, you betcha. Quick hits. When no one's watching. 100 billion a pop. That's big. And my only point for that one was being, big. I mean, Lone Star big. So, I mean, that was the only inference for that. It was a big hit. It's a big hit, alright. Cash. So, the cash cow, the sacred cash cow, lives, and we don't know who the creditors are. There are a lot of them, but we know that things are going on. And, we're basically the less, we're not if we would have started out as this complete socialist state, we would have had a single entity, and we'd be paying. But because our system was such that we had at one time decentralization. Now then, when it becomes centralized, and especially with the advent of technology, it's much easier to become centralized. And each one now then. So then, of course, we don't have just one, we have more than one. And the racket grows. And the bull goes out. The rackets got really big, in the game. And we see how much bigger they got. You look at the sweet spot is what they call it I don't need to tell the players, but the sweet spot. We thought so they got really, really big. I don't think the sweet spot ever got any bigger, and you have to hit that one still on the sweet spot. So, but in the day of the wooden racket, of course, it was small. I mean, in comparison to, and now it might have given you more the bigger rackets may have. It's about timing. You know what I mean? It's my guess, and my little bit of experience. I love to play it, and it's a very physically demanding sport, and I know it is. So I have a lot of admiration for, especially this day, as fierce as the ball stroking is. So, but I'm not convinced that the sweet spot really has grown. You know, you still have to hit it in the to get, you know, the center where the strings are the strongest. Strings are the strongest. You know, maybe maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm a fruit. A fruit. We used to call people fruits. You fruit. You're a fruit. Oh, another one. Fairy. We used to call him. You know, he's a fairy. He's a fairy. Fruit. The fruit. I was looking for a recipe for to bake some no-bake cookies. Bake some no-bake. Make some no-bake cookies. And I was looking for it. I couldn't find it, but I was in the books and I was looking, and one of the recipes for cookies was apricot balls. I thought apricot balls. Oh, and the circumcision of the apricots, huh? Well, those don't get circumcised. It's the right, that part, which causes the consternation. Yes. Well, there are a lot of things. It's funny. BCCI. It's fun to go back. I have a lot of clippings from newspapers, and now I have this older Bible here that I had been in holding there. And of course, the print is smaller, and I didn't need glasses when I could read this, and I did. I have it underlined. I mean, I'm not lying. Then you go in here and you discover some things that you have the old clippings here. So let's see here. Oh, I got 17. Let's see if I can get the date. December 20th, 1991. BCCI testimony from Governor. Atlanta, Georgia's governor testified Thursday before a federal grand jury investigating a 1987 state law change that helped the scandal-plagued Bank of Credit and Commerce International. The law allowed the merger of two banks that BCI then secretly and illegally owned. Governor Zell Miller, a Democrat, presided over the state senate as lieutenant governor when the measure was considered. Miller said he told the grand jury everything I could remember about the bill, and that it seemed quite harmless at the time. Of course, that's what they all say. You know. Oh, that was just one of them. Then, of course, there was the savings and loan, and we all know that one. It's curious to read. Then, of course, I had this one here. And I thought of, goodness, I'm up to 18 already. Then I have this one, Evans and Novak. Germans no longer on U.S. leash. This, again, would have been, this is only on the flip side, 1991. A formal, we don't hear much. I know, you know, growing up, of course, we have an explicative deleted in this one. It's a explicative deleted outrage. A key Bush administration critically told us privately. It's an outrage. Bond's failure to reply. Of course, Bond is not James Bond or the bonds that they all make it very, very healthy. What are we up to? 1933. This is a request to Bonn in Germany to withhold its recognition of Slovenia and the war-devastated Croatia was never answered. Proof that the Soviet Union, extinct Germany, is no longer the beck and call of its old friend, I guess the old friend across the Atlantic. Well, history is